Hey guys! Oh man, that frizz for days. Um, I was having a really great uh summer so far, I guess. No, it's been a great spring. It's been a great, honestly, guys. It's been a great year. I'm actually really happy. I have a lot to report. This is like this has been a really challenging year and a really amazingly awesome year. So everyone knows pretty much like at the end of last year and the beginning of this year, I had ended things with my fiance. I'm not going to talk too much about that. I know that some people are like, they want to know what happened to my ex. He seems to disappear. The truth is, I don't know. He had tried to contact me before. I told him no. I didn't want to talk to him. And the truth is, I don't. Because life ended there and began anew somewhere else. So this is about what's been going on with me, because unfortunately I was dealing with a lot of stuff. I think I've mentioned before that I had a bit of a regain. I had a bit of a regain, and life, and I didn't know how to handle it, and I was eating uncontrollably, and just everything at once started coming to me. I started job searching. I'm still looking for a job. It is very hard to be a bartender without experience, so I started to apply for other things. I'm actually thinking about reapplying to a place I had before. But for a little bit, my job searching was kind of on hold. And here's why. So, back after all the shenanigans, my sister had a son. His name is Noah. I'm not going to give any more detail than his name. He's a little boy. Um, and my sister went through, all the pregnancy stuff, like the anxiety and the depression and things like that. And she had me around a lot because I eased her anxiety, which, again, like, there were so many plans that I had last year that wouldn't have necessarily been good for my family this year. And by canceling out those plans, I didn't expect it to be as good as it turned out, but the truth is, I am more use here than I have been in a while. So, I was helping my sister calm down, and my mom came to me and she's like, I'm planning a Chicago trip. And she asked me to go with her. And I don't think I've ever traveled, like, I've traveled, we did a road trip back when I was maybe 12 or 13 to Louisiana. And that was cool. It was for a church thing. We stayed a few days. But I've never been on such a big trip for like a leisurely reason. And I was super heavy back. Like I was always heavy, but I was super heavy even as a 12-year-old. So going on like a trip being a lot thinner was probably a really exciting yet scary like adventure. But after my adventures last year with the Ninja Sex Party concert and the beach visit that I had last time, and that being an extreme thing, I was like, whatever, we're doing this. So a couple of other things happened. I started volunteering at my church with the kids. It's been That's been more of a blessing than I ever thought it was, because for a long time, after everything that happened, I was like, I don't think I want love. I don't think I want kids. And that kind of restored everything. First of all, my church restored everything about what I wanted in, like, a guy. I'm not seeking anyone right now, honestly. It's not because I'm not ready for well, I'm not, what am I trying to say? That I don't want a relationship because of everything that happened. No, it's just I want to better myself before I try to get myself into any type of relationship situation. So it's always self-searching, which is why I ended my relationship in the first place. I didn't think that I was ready for a relationship because I didn't have what I felt I needed personally for myself. And how would that happen? Like, how could I be used to someone when I'm not used to myself? So that whole, like, adventure really, like, snapped in, and we made plans, and I went to Chicago probably a few weeks ago. I don't know, because that trip is so fresh in my brain. And the funny thing is, I got sick before my trip to Chicago. And I had, like, had a pretty bad head cold, and then it turned to an infection. I got an ear infection, I had, like, a sinus infection. So it was, like, pretty bad. And we didn't take a plane. We took a bus. We took a Greyhound bus to Chicago. So I was on a bus to Chicago with a earache, and I've always had, like, an issue with my ears. My ears have always been sensitive. It kind of runs in the family a little bit. Like, we always had some kind of ear problem. But I don't normally like to travel up or down or anywhere, and you'd think that, like, Chicago would be straight. No, like, we had to drive through Pittsburgh and Ohio and Indiana, and unfortunately there is a little bit of an up climb, and of course I had some issues with my ear. Of course, it didn't stop me from enjoying the vacation. So I had a head cold while I was in Chicago, but it didn't slow me down. Every day, we had something planned every day. The first day that we arrived, we went to my brother's Iaido class, and we took a tour of the class. We went out to lunch, and then we went on to an architectural boat tour, and then we went out to dinner at a conveyor belt sushi place where I met one of Allison's brother and her brother's wife, and I was actually very, like, friendly with Sam, because we had talked before, and we actually bonded, like, on Facebook. So we immediately, like, we clicked. I felt so comfortable with her. I sat next to her at dinner. I was like, whatever. Like, we're best friends now. So we had this day, like, we just ate sushi together. Then we walked 2 blocks to get ice cream. So that day was just filled with activity, a lot of walking. We didn't take a car. We always, like, we always used public transportation, so buses, trains, and things like that. Super simple, super fun. The next day we went to the nature center, and we went to the butterfly room, which was something I personally requested because butterflies are my symbol for God's presence. It's a symbol for peace. It's a symbol of, like, everything's gonna be okay. So when she took me, she wears Lolita style, and she also, like, wears, like, very frilly, cute stuff. She's adorable. I loved her. She's the nicest person in this world. I swear, I'm not even lying. So she wore, like, a frilly dress, and she knows I love kittens, and we were going to a butterfly room, so she wore a skirt with cats with butterfly wings on them. And, you know, somebody that just puts that much detail in what they're doing, I mean, that totally makes you feel special. So you're like, aw. So we went out for lunch. We had, I think it's pokey or poke or something, but it's, like, kind of like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I'm too busy. Too busy with that. Get out of here. Get out of here, scamp. So, you know, we went to the nature center, and then we ate at the Gilt Bar for dinner with her family. Oh, and we also, I think that was the day that we went to Orange, which is a really nice restaurant in Chicago where they have coffee that tastes like oranges. No, that was the day we didn't have breakfast. We had breakfast at Starbucks. We just got something real quick. So we went out to dinner at this Gilt Bar, and I bought a taxi because we were all dressed nicely, and we were all in, like, heels, so I got us a taxi instead. And we ate at this restaurant that's inside an old vault, and the food was unbelievable, and her family was amazing. They were just amazing. Like, I think I could spend hours talking to her stepdad and her mom, and I can't wait to meet, like, the rest of her family in the near future. But that was such a fun experience. I had my first, like, dark and stormy, and it was just, honestly, it was a good experience. Then the next day we went to the Art Institute of Chicago, and then we went to Millennial Park. We did so much that day, honestly. It's one big blur. And then, of course, we had dinner somewhere, and it was just... Oh, and while we were there, we found this place that was called Round One, which is like a tabletop cafe where you like pay for the table and then you sit and drink coffee with your friends and you play board games. So we went there twice in a row at night after we had done all our activities because we didn't want the night to end and we wanted to hang out in a nice place and we had money. So we did that twice in a row. It was just really, really, really special. And I've never walked so much in my life. I've never ate so little in my life. I've never felt so alive, especially while I was sick. And then we drove, when it was time for us to leave, it was really sad because we had breakfast one last time and then we left and I didn't want to leave. Like, Chicago to me is like where I'd like to be in the future. It's amazing. It really was just the nicest trip. There's so much to do there, and you're active, and you feel like you're moving and you're living, and it's that kind of fast pace. And I've never lived in that fast pace. I've never really seen that fast pace. So being a part of it, it's like I can keep up with fast pace, and I rather like it. Then on the bus ride home, we stopped in Ohio, which I'm kind of grateful for the break in the ride, because 20 hours versus 12 hours, like, I'd rather be 12 hours on a bus. So we stopped to see my cousin in Ohio, and I keep wanting to say Idaho, but no. Ohio. And we kind of got there late, so we had dinner, and then me and Ron drove around. We were trying to look for some of the places he wanted to show me that were open, but a lot of them were closed. And then we went to this place called Pins, and it's something I've never experienced. So it's duck pin bowling, which is just like a tiny version of bowling, like cute little baby things. They're so cute. And then it's lined walls of pinball machines, a bar, and then there was like tabletop tennis or tabletop. Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. And I spent a lot of time with my cousin. Saw his competitive size, and he taught me how to be a better bowler. Which, for God's sakes, like, I didn't know was possible, because I sucked. I really did. But he like got me to where it was like scoring spares all the time. So like, wow, impressive. And we only played one round. So then I had a drink at the bar. He had a soda, and then he bought me a root beer in a plastic cup, which I don't have with me right now. But I think I want to drink. I think I want to drink my Coke Zero in it because I'm low calorie today. Actually, I'm not. Today was a social eating meal, which I'll get back to in a different video. But yeah, so I got to spend some time with my cousin Ron, who I play Dungeons and Dragons with twice a week now. Which I never thought I'd be a girl who plays Dungeons and Dragons, but I do, and I love it. It's honestly like the funnest game that I've ever played with anyone before, because you have to be imaginative. You create this person who is your own, and you use him, and you come up with scenarios and things like that. Well, I don't. I play through a scenario that somebody else has thought up of, but like how I play through it is how I want to play through it, which I like. So it was pretty exciting. But I mean, Ohio too. First of all, it's so much cheaper there. Like, my cousin lived in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment with a full-size kitchen with a roommate, and for rent they split. It's like 7 something, like almost $800. But for 2 people living in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment in a really nice apartment complex, I am flabbergasted. I'm like, dude, I want to like work here, save up enough money to move to Ohio, get a good job there, and then save up enough money to move to Chicago or somewhere in between. I don't want to live in Indiana, though. I think I'd stay in Ohio because I'm closer to Chicago and still close enough that if I wanted to visit home, then I can go and visit home. I don't know. But bus rides are super cheap. It's like $200 for the both of us, both ways, which is impressive. So, yeah. So this is my Chicago trip, and just feeling good and being able to do it. I'm like, honestly, this video was about something else, and I made it about Chicago. Yeah. So it was my little tidbit. I'm going to make a second video, and that second video is going to be about other things that happened this week, and pretty much my weight loss as a whole, because I think that's really important. And it's a pretty big update. It's a pretty big update, because this was about Chicago. So, thanks for watching. If you watched the whole thing, thank you. Pretty impressed. Bye!